Hello, welcome, W.J. Burns PHX. This here is a Zenith model 7S633R from 1941. It's a 7-2 3-band radio, table radio with push button presets. It has undergone a full refurbishment inside and out. The cabinet has been taken back to bare wood, restained, and several coats of clear poly has been applied. The controls for the push buttons and the tone controls, the bezel for the dial glass, and the dial and pointer is all original. These are homemade reproductions. The original radios came with a brass bright on the outer knobs. I have replaced, well, one couldn't find any with a brass because I don't know why, but this particular one for the volume on off is always missing its bright. This one here always seems to be managed to stay intact, but both the bright and the knob was missing on this, and this one here had the original knob to it, which this is the original knob, but I took the brass bright out and replaced and added in the aluminum brights on both of those. Both of these, the inner and outer knob is a reproduction. I thought I had knobs for that, but I didn't. This one here did not come with knobs because this particular radio, I bought it for the chassis, some parts for the chassis on another radio that I was doing, and the case, the cabinet that this chassis came in was broken here in the corner. And it was a pretty rough, bad shape, and it was missing its knobs, and the original bezel cover with it was missing its glass, so I had to find a glass for it. And this cabinet is came as a separate cabinet. I had to buy this one standalone. I got it off of eBay. The grill cover cloth is new. The speaker, this radio, the original radio, didn't come with a speaker in it. I had to buy a separate speaker. This is not a Zenith type speaker, but it is the same characteristics as the Zenith. I managed to find one of those. This has been restained in a honey stain. The trim is brushed bronze metallic. The original radio that I got with this didn't have a back cover on it. It didn't come with an antenna. There was no antenna assembly in it. Okay, I had to take a little short break here and open the back up so that you could see. I could show you the homemade, reproduced wave magnet antenna for this. I had to rebuild this from scratch for this radio. It didn't have it with it, and it didn't have the plug or the wire or anything with it. There's the speaker that I mentioned. I think 2 tubes were replaced in this here, a converter tube and an RF tube, I believe. The wiring on the push button assembly is redone. New lamp wiring. The chassis has been refinished. This is a homemade plug. I had to make that from scratch because this didn't have its original speaker and cabling for it. It has a new power cord that is polarized. It's been fused, and there's a voltage dropping resistor that drops about 122 volts down to about 117. Original cabinet sticker. It has been aligned on all bands. The inner coil for the antenna is a reproduction also. It has a new cover. Sorry for the glint and the glaring, because I have a darn wall over there that is just, when the sun is up, it's in the west. It just creates a glare that's just terrible for taking pictures. Like I was saying, the back cover is reproduced. I had to make that from scratch. It has decaling on it. Let me get this put back together. We will get this taken in, put on the bench, and we'll get it set up for doing a frequency scan on all bands for you. So give me a minute to do it. Put this thing back together and get it in, and we'll be back. Okay, we're gonna start here on the shortwave band and work our way down, and then we're gonna go down to the bleached band, the metal one, and work our way back up, and then we're gonna drop it to the broadcast band and work our way back down, and then we'll kick it over to automatic tuning and demonstrate the push buttons. Okay, here we go. We are on a long wire antenna, an assist from the long wire antenna. It's 5 o'clock in the evening, partly cloudy skies, little wind. The sun will be headed down behind the mountain in probably half an hour or so. So should be picking up some pretty good stations. That's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. These are going to start drifting a little bit now in the evening because these over here are going to start picking up a little later this evening. I believe that's 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14.
'Granted, it's been proven that coronavirus has been around for years.
15.
Meditating and wishing me success.
16.
Anything that's negative that the devil brings to your mind, resist it.
17. 18.
49, 34 now.
Sounds like sideband or ham. 19.
Foreigners and 84 Cuban nationals.
20.
Part of the
friends, 40 years of ministry, that is tremendous.
21.
Que recorra el mundo. Amigos, los convocamos a enviar sus opiniones, críticas o sugerencias.
22. 23. 24.
Of what their privilege is in Christ.
25.
Azab ist betraying Eisbären
26. That's pretty good for that one. Yeah. Okay. We'll kick it down to the police band.
Tuesday we talk truancy with Cottonwood Oak Creek School District. And Thursday, the National Weather Service will recap winter and look ahead at spring and summer. Countywide is brought
That's
to you by
our local station,
Representative,
16
your neighborhood rights
at
accounting and
1600,
tax service,
1.6 megahertz.
and District 3 Yavapai County Supervisor Randy Garrison.
The tone buttons.
We've only just begun.
Won't get too much on this at probably this time of day, maybe a little later, maybe an hour or two later, up here on the high part of the band. .5, you get the WWV. Five point oh. There's a little something there. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 if you include WWV. There's 5. 6. Okay, there's that band. We're gonna drop down to, that's our local station again at 1600 AM. Now it's getting about the time of day that the stations drop their power up here in the central part of the state.
We're trying to follow common sense. We're trying to...
That's 2. Three.
Some of the past jobs that he's had, it would have to be that lower level, I think,
4.
of a Power 5 school.
Here's what...
Five. That's about it for right now. Later in the evening, once the sun goes down, I see the sunlight still out there. More stations will start coming in up here in the upper part of the broadcast band. Some stations, some will be out of California. Others will be other parts of the Arizona that don't usually come in during the daylight hours because of, I guess, the sun or whatever. Just wreaks havoc on it. Okay, now the automatic tuning.
Coaches were caught on tape by the FBI offering money for recruits while they were on probation from the stripper prostitute gang. Someone this phrase.
Let's make this a night we want.
Imagine what a coach would have to do if they're good enough, right? Like if you have the reputation. Bobby Petrino didn't even have that reputation of winning national titles. Now,
There's
Petrino
very few
certainly had
stations
the history of
that I
being a
can
good
bring
football
in
coach,
with these
and,
here
you know, he was eventually
on the
given a
broadcast
second
band
chance.
because
Yeah, you weren't a good enough coach. There is enough
because they're not, as you can see, I only picked up 5 on here for right now. But you can adjust these by twisting these oscillator trimmers here for the push button, particular push button, and then there's a nut set back in here a little bit for the antenna trimmer, and you just dial in your oscillator for the band that you want to select, and then peak it with the antenna trimmer to the loudest volume. And then you just slip this thing back onto there and then push that in, and she locks back into place. This one here comes off too, but there's no need to pull it off because it's nothing but wiring. Yeah. Let's see if we can get this off here. Fresh finish on these things here, and okay, there's a little bit of effort there with new finish on it. It's just a little tough. This is for your tone controls, and it has all new wiring here, wiring harness in it. Some of the Zenith used some rubber insulated wiring that just once it got hot from the tubes and warming up inside the cabinet, it started to get brittle and crack off and everything, so I just got rid of all of that old rubber wiring. Okay, there you have it, a Zenith 7S633R, available soon. Thanks for watching.